Hey everyone, John Mugiwara James here with a quick PSA. So when we were recording, we were having some technical issues on this episode, and not only during one part, my recording suddenly stopped, and I had to go and restart the recording partway through the review. Austen's microphone in Audacity when he was recording automatically shifted to his built-in mic as opposed to his regular mic that he uses, and we didn't know about it till after we recorded. So instead of deciding to re-record it, we figured we'd just use the audio anyway. I do apologize for the quality. We had no idea what was happening at the time. We found out later in a super bonus round recording that it happened to everything he was doing that week. So we apologize, and we hope that you can still enjoy the podcast despite that. All right, enjoy the episode today, guys. You're listening to Binging the Devil's Fruit, a One Piece manga read-through podcast where the best fruits are the ones you savor and are best enjoyed taking your time consuming. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Binging the Devil's Fruit. I am your host, John Mugiwara JM, joined as always by my co-host, Jack Peanuts.
Hey, it's another review of the movies, or OVA, I should say.
Well, the first review we did was an OVA, but now we've finally reached movie territory.
Oh, awesome.
Today's review is going to be on One Piece, the movie.
Oh.
That's literally what it's called. There's no subtitle. In fact, in Japan, it's just called One Piece. It was only called One Piece by the movie, One Piece the movie by fans, and on the official release. So apparently the UK actually got releases of the old One Piece movies, but not dubbed. They were in a box set that was subtitled.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah. Back in 2009, I believe, which is about 9 years after this film came out. This film released in theaters in Japan in March 4th of 2000. In 2000. And this movie, along with the other two following this one, were not feature-length films. They were released in theaters, but they were double billed with Digimon movies.
Oh, so it's not even a feature-length, so technically it can't really be a movie.
Yes, it is. It was released in theaters.
Oh.
It was released in theaters. You'll be happy about this. This is the only official One Piece production, not counting Defeat Him the Pirate Gonzak, that was done with traditional animation.
Oh, awesome.
This one was done with hand-drawn cells. The TV anime, I'm wrong. I thought the early anime was. No. The anime and all films after this and everything else were all digital techniques. This is the only hand-drawn cell animated movie.
Well, I'm excited about that.
Yep. So, and I have not watched these since I was still in high school.
Jesus.
Like back during the era of the only way you could watch One Piece is on Saturday mornings on the Fox box.
Oh no!
With all the violence cut out, and we were all. And yeah, the reason why I chose to do this now is because this was released when the anime was going, and they had just recruited Usopp. Which I thought was perfect because not only did we just finish the Syrup Village arc last episode, this is going to be our 10th episode of the Binging the Devil's Fruit podcast. So I figured, while it's a small milestone compared to what else we could be doing towards the future, I figured let's celebrate Austen getting through the first half of the East Blue saga, the first saga of the series, by reviewing the first One Piece movie.
Well, I'm ready.
Well, one last thing before we begin. If you'd like to watch along with us with our commentary track, well, there's a special place where you can go to that.
Oh, damn. Where is that place?
At patreon.com/superbonusround, which is the channel that we host this on. Yeah, on Patreon, we will have our commentary track where you can watch along with us. But if you're not a patron just yet, stick around, because when we come back in this episode, we're going to do our little review with our categories and our thoughts on the film. All right, you ready?
Hell yeah.
Let's begin our first edition of what I'm going to unofficially call this Binging the Devil's Popcorn.
Okay.
No, I
Devil's popcorn.
I might not actually call it that, but yeah, let's go watch the One Piece movie. We'll see you guys after the show.
Bye-bye.
And we have returned from watching One Piece, the movie. Austin, I think it's time for a rundown by you, as we usually do. I like how we did that with the OVA review, so I'll let you do like a brief rundown of the story.
Okay, so it starts off by talking about this legendary pirate named Rororo.
No, it's Woonan. Don't lie.
Runan. All right, oh shit, I forgot about that pun I made. Runan searching for Poonan. And how he absolutely loved gold to the point where all the gold he collected on his ships, I should say, illuminated to make it look like it was a city on the sea, almost.
Mm-hmm.
And how he hid it somewhere pretty similar to a certain Gold Roger and the Legend of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
And it focuses on this kid, Tobio, who was on a ship, a little dinghy, searching for Runan, apparently. But then he summons across this other ship with a bunch of dead people on there, and this massive beast of a man with spiky red hair.
And gold nails.
And good long gold nails. It's looking like claws.
But his name is El Drago. But I think, but the Japanese pronunciation, if you pronounce his name in Japanese, it's El Dorago. So,
like El Dorado. Oh, yes, the pun.
Yes. Oda loves his puns, don't you know?
Then we get the traditional opening to the One Piece anime, We Are.
Yep.
And it cuts to going merry, where despite packing food for months,
in 2 days.
Yeah, Luffy bragged about eating it in 2 days, and now they're starving. But then thieves began sneaking away with all the gold Nami's collected, because she's greedy, of course.
And they're still yelling at Luffy for eating all their food. By the way, while you were in your post-watch break, I learned the names of those three.
Oh, boy.
The names of the three thieves that were robbing them, their names are Danny, Denny, and Donnie.
The three Ds!
Danny, Donnie, and Denny. Which one's which? I actually don't know, and honestly, I don't care.
And so, at first, they throw a bunch of rice balls, and which make Luffy and Joe scoff it up. But Nami's just pissed at eating instead of stopping the thieves.
Are they bad guys? They fed us. Okay, you can have our money.
And when Luffy goes to ask them for more, one of them just takes a flintlock and shoots him right in the forehead. Holy shit.
Yeah, and in any other fiction, this would have been the end of the movie.
But bullets don't work, John.
On Luffy, anyway.
It's in a Garfield reference, but anyway, so
I don't know about it. So
get a fucking stockpile of flintlocks and just unload on them, and they're having no effect. So now Luffy's pissed, and he stretches his arm out and just stocks a dinghy. It crashes in the mast.
Oh, and, yeah. So
turns out they have the boy's name is Tobio, who's enslaved by these crew. Now I remember. And then El Dorado and his ship comes by, and he does a frickin' shoop-de-roop that separates them all.
For anybody that doesn't know what the hell that is, he basically just used his voice to blow the dinghy. Yeah. This is getting more and more sexual the more we talk about dinghies. So I'm going to cut myself off now before it gets worse.
So And of course, the dinghy's completely destroyed, and Luffy obviously can't swim because of the devil fruit, so Zoro jumps in and to save him. And there's only this little piece of wood left over in the dinghy where they sent out with Tobio. But they start smelling food, and Zoro and Luffy just fucking paddle like machines.
Yeah, like that. They were all tired and hungry, but all of a sudden they smelled food, and all of a sudden they were pumping iron by sailing.
And they reach this fun little Odin shop run by Tobio's grandfather Ganzo the Great. Ganzo the Great, and
Rizzo took their order.
Yeah. So Luke, they start scarfing down the Odin. Luffy, being the pig he is, reaches over and starts eating the ingredients.
Yeah, and like the little ingredients table. Like imagine you were at Subway and they haven't finished making your sandwich yet. You're eating the shit that's in the tray before they put it on the sandwich.
Yeah, I know. And he fucking eats Zoro's food.
Yeah, he doesn't do that first because that's prepared.
Yeah. But during the fighting, Gonzo demands payment and for all the Odin they eat, which is 11 berries, which is...
Yeah, which I'm surprised by considering he ate out almost his entire stock.
Yeah, so I was shocked at how cheap it was. But Luffy says he got no money and just hands him over this fucking rock that says that's basically an IOU from the future King of the Pirates.
It's an IOU in rock form.
Because Ganto's having none that in, just ties him up with a chain to an anchor. Like, holy shit. So El Dorado and his crew reach the Isle of Gold, which is where Odin and...
Wunon's gold.
What?
Wunon is the gold, the great gold.
Shit.
Wunon's the great gold pirate.
With names, John. So Wunan, the Isle of Gold where Wunan supposedly hid his gold. And little do they know that Nami's a stowaway on the ship. Yep. While Usopp is up and the Go and Mary are captured by the 3Ds, as we're calling them.
Denny, Donnie, and Denny.
Yes, and then things take a turn when El Dorado's Lieutenant Golas shows up.
Galashi.
Shows up.
Things take a turn for things take a turn, all right.
He's imagine how do I describe Golashi?
A racist Native American stereotype.
Yeah, imagine the chief from Disney's Peter Pan mixed with a touch of blackface. That's basically the design, and
yeah, I mean it's not great, but I think the Peter Pan one's worse.
Mm-hmm.
The Peter Pan one is way worse than this guy is.
Yeah. Jesus.
And what doesn't help too is how El Drago gets him to do things.
This tosses him gold coins to use his sword to cut anything in the way.
I have to wonder if he's even in the crew, and he's just along for the ride as long as he gets paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Usopp, realizing he might die, begins to lie about where he knows the treasure is buried. Promised him a bunch of treasure, while El Drago is only interested in the gold. Oh, so let's see here. Let's see here. And under Usopp's guidance, and a few fibbing
and complete bullshittery.
Yeah, they reach this massive castle. Well, they demand Usopp to tell them where the gold is, and he feigns hunger, and they're about to kill him. Until Nami, he begins to join in on Usopp's little lie by claiming that they've been gone this island and that the treasure's buried underneath the gate.
Yeah, she said her name was Josephine. Her name was and they said Usopp's name was like Kamikaze or something. I don't know.
Kamikaze. Hey, but instead of digging, Drago just does a fucking and shoots a sound laser out, destroying the castle.
He just yells and the castle's gone.
Mm-hmm. And Luffy, Zoro, Tobio, and Ganzo reach the Isle of Gold. And
with Luffy and Zoro still tied up on the anchor and chain.
Tobio's just washing dishes, and he's angry that his grandfather wants him to be an Odin chef while he wants to be a pirate for the great Ronan. Wunan. Shit. And after some politically incorrect dialogue, Tobio...
I think that was on the translator. I don't think that line actually was in the Japanese, because I don't think they even used that word. Yeah, let's just say it was an insensitive word for a little person.
And Tobio is a fucking kid, so that word doesn't even fit for him.
I have used that word. I have heard that word used to insult children, though.
John.
No, don't worry. I'm editing this.
So they run off, and Luffy chases after him. And when he stops, the anchor swings around, fucking hits Zoro in the head, knocking him out. And
every time Luffy turns around while Zoro's attached to him, the anchor hits Zoro at least once or twice.
Yeah, and Luffy ensures Tobio that if he really wants us to live his dream, he has to chase after it. But Tobio is concerned that he's not strong enough to be a member of Runan's crew.
No shit, he's 5.
Yeah. But they see that massive Drago scream beam just destroy the castle. So they make their way to it.
Oh my god, Austen, you just gave me a perfect title for this review.
What?
El Drago's Scream Beam Machine.
I imagine if someone did a remake of the title card for that game, but with El Drago in that title.
Your co-host is an artist.
Ooh. So,
sorry to cut you off. Please continue.
Anyway, Tobio insists on protecting Runan's treasure. That's by himself. And El Drago is just annoyed by the kid and is ready to kill him until Slice, even though his arms are still bound, Zoro can still fucking sword fight with his mouth.
Yep.
I mean, that's one thing his mouth is good for, but 2 things.
Oh my god.
But there's a problem during the fight. The anchor is stuck, making and Luffy's arm stretch out, and they just fucking and accidentally launches themselves and Tobio into the remains of the castle and bounces them fucking off it and on top of the cliff. Thankfully, Nami and Usopp during the fight snuck away to catch up with them. And on top of this hill on the island with this whale statue.
Yeah.
And Nami managed to pick the locks off the chains, freeing them. And she also reveals she's stolen the Runan's map from El Drago. And she tries to pull an Indiana Jones where she lights a match underneath it to try to find a hidden matches, but it burns. It just quickly turns into ash.
That's gotta be one of the funniest things that happened in that movie.
Yeah, they just freeze each of their expressions frozen. That's fucking hilarious to me.
That's what I love about the comedy in One Piece. Like that, like something bad will happen, and everyone will just take a moment to try and process what happened, and you're just waiting for the reaction.
But then Usopp remembers one clue from the map about the whale's tail pointing and at the chest.
Yeah, so, because there was one part you'd skipped where Usopp was trying to tell them about the whale's tails. Like the whale faces the west, and so that means the tail faces the east. The problem is they weren't looking too closely at the tail.
Yeah, because it's pointing at this massive plateau. I think
it wasn't pointed straight. It was pointed. It was curled.
Yeah. So they climbed up the plateau and they found out that Ganso's in this cliffside cave. With the part of Oden. What was the name of that stew?
You were very close. It was Odin. He had something on his head. It was just what's weird.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? That's not all that weird because he climbed it, and the only way they all were able to climb up is like to skip. It's like to sidle across it. So yeah, putting it on his head made sense.
And Ganso,
He had some cloth between it because, like, you know, Odin is stew and stew is hot, so he was going to burn his head if he didn't do that.
Yeah, and Ganso feels that he knew Runan ever since they were kids. Runan dreams of traveling the world hoarding gold, but Ganso wants to perfect the fine art of cooking Odin.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the... But Runan wants Ganso to join his pirate crew. And when he refuses, they just stop fucking punching each other. Like, Jesus. It's not escalated quickly.
Yeah, they feel very strongly about their ambitions. And what a weird reason to fight each other. It's like, I want to do this. Well, I want to do that. We're going to fight about it. Okay.
Yeah, and as they're fighting, they accidentally... He rolled off the fucking cliff, but Runan's flag he made, he catches onto a branch and it begins to rip. And Ganso, we're feeling that the flag catches on to rip and can't hold both of them, lets go to sacrifice himself to save Ronan's life.
So, I mean... Yeah, he seemingly sacrifices his life, but remember, he's the one telling the story. Mm-hmm. But try telling Luffy that, because the funniest joke in the movie happens immediately.
Oh yeah, Luffy just fucking asks, "Did you die?" And
everyone's like, "No, he's telling this. Well, of course he did." And then Luffy's like, "Oh man, you didn't." And then everyone was like, "No." That is the funniest joke of the movie.
Yeah, Passion and Ship managed to find Ganso when he woke up 3 days later, discovering that Runan and left. And that was the last time they saw each other since. But knowing that Runan is on this island, he prepared him a pot of Odin, and then hoping he will finally try it, because he absolutely refuses to try his Odin, and when they were kids. So they reach the top of this plateau to find this little hut made out of stone. And a thatched cottage. Mm-hmm. This is unearthing a bunch of early 2000s memories for me. And anyway, Zoro finds the secret passage is behind this fireplace.
However, it was the only thing in the house.
Yeah. However, suddenly the entire cottage is destroyed by a drago who caught up to them. And Tobio refuses to let El Drago go down to the secret passage. And when Ganso goes to see the sun, he's just struck down by El Drago when his entire pot of Odin spilled, and he just stomps on it. Holy shit, that's just rubbing salt into the wound.
Yeah, especially because it probably is salted.
But then that Luffy punches him back and eats the spoiled, dirty Odin off the ground and screams about how delicious it is.
Which is a callback to when Zoro was starving when he was tied up at the at Morgan's execution ground, and remember he had promised he wouldn't eat until he got free, and then that little girl gave him rice balls and he ate it off the ground.
Yeah, so El Drago orders Garashi to attack, and so obviously being the swordsman, and there's Garashi himself, while Luffy goes after El Drago. And Drago keeps raising the price as to make Galas actually fight stronger. But Acho makes quick work of him to non-fatally knock him out.
Yep, he flips the sword to his back ends and takes him out in a couple of blows, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Pretty pathetic.
Yeah, for a guy who can slice a fucking mountain in half.
Yeah.
While Luffy and Drago duel, it's Gum Gum versus the oh fuck, what devil food did Drago eat? The scream food or something?
Yeah, and in fact, one of the tracks on the soundtrack, like is in Japan, it's called the Goe Goe no Mi, whether they realize it or not. So Gum Gum versus Scream.
But yes, it goes on for a while. Each one getting a few hits on each other. But then, when Drago unleashes his Scream Bean, Luffy does that inflation trick of his and catches
the sound on his belly.
The what?
He catches the sound on his belly, basically.
Yeah, and shits it right back at Drago. And his crew is just terrified as they carried them and knocked out Galassi and began to leave.
Don't forget, he also broke his armor pretty easily. Like, it's not even really gold. Luffy broke it pretty quickly.
Yeah, gold is pretty easy to. It's a pretty weak metal.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And Luffy tells him to wait up, but as soon as they stop, they realize they ran right off the cliff, which is the reason Luffy told them to stop in the first place. Because they were heading towards the cliff.
They basically they wildly coyoted themselves.
So they all head down to the secret passage, a Shuangaden chamber, and Ronin forgot that you kinda need food in order to live, and he found his skeletal remains, and just sitting in the middle of the room.
Yep.
And Tobio is heartbroken that the man he looked up to is dead. But they soon find writing on the wall, literally, and it turns out to be a letter Runan wrote, because he knew he was going to die. About how he sailed the 7 seas searching for treasure, but that treasure is now gone because in his final days, he gave it back to the rightful owners. Like, Jesus, fuck, you had enough gold to make your ships look like a simmering city, and you managed to give it all back before you died.
Yeah, he realized that the thrill of the hunt for the gold was the adventure for him.
More satisfying than the actual gold itself.
Like when people say that they won't watch One Piece because it's too long, it's like, well, I want to wait for it to end. It's like, well, you're really interested in the destination more than you are the journey.
Yeah. And also talks about how highly he looked up to Ganso, even holding the stitched up flag on his body.
Yep, because he sailed with it when he first left.
Yeah, and despite being an infamous pirate, with a lot of gold, he thought so highly of his friend who wanted to be an Odin chef. Oh my god. So it's Ganso tells Tobio that, well, whatever he wants to do with his life, he'll support him. So they begin to part ways, but not after Nami does steal off El Drago's treasure. She has such a one-track mind when it comes to that stuff.
Just about everybody in this crew thus far has a one-track mind of something.
True.
Luffy, it's food. Zoro, it's sleeping or booze. Nami, it's treasure. And Usopp, lying.
Yeah. And that's One Piece the movie, clocking out a little under an hour. I mean, no wonder you said it was better as a double feature with Digimon.
So yeah, like I was saying, they're short because they were double billed with they hold on a second. So yeah, the first three One Piece movies were double billed with Digimon movies. The first three Digimon movies were double billed as which released in America as one movie, which I think is weird because they had like distinctly different art styles.
Yeah,
but, like,
and
the Digimon and One Piece were coming up as franchises around the same time as each other, so it made sense to double bill them together. And then I guess after One Piece shot up in popularity, One Piece started to get its own. It got its own feature-length films, but then we're not going to get that for a while. But yeah, because of the double billing, this felt like a two
made-for-TV movie or something.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like that way to me because it was traditionally animated.
Oh yeah, it's the last time One Piece ever used ink and paint, aside from that OVA we watched.
Well, this is the only time that Toei ever did ink and paint for One Piece, period. Everything else.
Oh shit! They didn't do the OVA.
No, it was another studio because they were. They were shopping around for an anime. Remember?
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, so this was their first outing, first and only because I think the second movie is digital.
Ah.
But yeah, that was One Piece the movie. So, what overall did you think of it, Austen?
Well, it was a fun little featurette. For what it was, there was some that ending kind of got me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, One Piece will do that to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing special, but still enjoyable.
Yeah, for a first movie, it could have easily been worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I forgot that this movie had one of my favorite jokes in the One Piece anime, and turns out it was non-canon. Did you die? No!
Okay, so when do we get to the categories?
Now, because we got our we reviewed the movie already. So our categories, if you don't remember from our fifth episode, we have these little categories where we rate specific aspects of the film and then we give it a final score. Our first category, however, is who was the MVP, and by that I mean the most valuable pirate. Austen, who was the most valuable pirate to you in this movie?
In my opinion, let's see here. I guess that would be Luffy, in my opinion.
What makes you say that?
Well, let's see. He just destroys that fucking ship, and he's still running around even when tied to an anchor. Repeatedly knocking Zoro out, by the way, accidentally with the anchor. Just fucking catches a screen beam on his inflated belly and shoots it right back at his attacker. Like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even know he could deflect beams with his gut.
I forgot he could do that myself.
Like, Jesus Christ, so that's why and like you said, he had some of the best jokes in the movie with "Did you die?" and that IOU rock.
No, that was so. I forgot all about the IOU rock already.
Yeah, so that's why I'm giving it to Luffy. So who's your most valuable pirate?
For practical reasons, Nami.
Of course you're going with your waifu.
I said for practical reasons. They wanted they were on a hunt for gold, and who actually found some?
Yes, he's the only one who made off with any in that film.
Yeah, she got onto El Drago's ship. She found where the gold was, and then even though they didn't find any gold, they took El Drago's. I forgot El Drago even fucking had any more treasure besides what he was wearing. She got it. She got the gold before I even realized they had any left.
That's the.
If not her, then Usopp, because Usopp's the one who found out where everything actually was.
Yeah, he was surprisingly decent at treasure hunting.
Yeah, he was good at bullshitting the villains. Okay, yeah. Well then we have the most valuable pirate. Who was the least valuable pirate? The LVP.
Going with El Drago's lieutenant, the stereotypical Native American swordsman.
Because when he did do something, you had to pay him, and then when it mattered to fight the Straw Hat Pirates, he jobbed easy.
Yeah, this is the same guy who could cut a mountain in half. Fucking mountain.
And he jobbed in like a couple of, like, remember what I said during the commentary? This this movie was the soundtrack to this movie is essentially the soundtrack volume 1 to the show, and the big Zorro fight music debuted in this movie, and it was cut down. Why? Because the fight was short. Zorro beat Garashi in one onigiri.
So yeah, that's why Garashi is the least viable pirate in this movie.
And he beat him with the non-lethal method too.
Yeah.
So he's your pick.
And on top of that, his design is racist as fuck. That's the first reason I named the least viable pirate. And how he went down easily is the main reason.
Okay. Oh, so the racist is not the worst part to you.
Oh my god. Okay, who's your least viable pirate?
Well, I am gonna go with the villain. The villain was kind of a pushover dipshit. He was stupid enough to believe Usopp's lies pretty much for the most part. And although he had gold armor and everything, it wasn't sturdy. He was supposed to be this big, tall, fearsome pirate, but he was dumb as a rock. And I can't pick Garashi because the part of my pun here, golden rule is we can't pick the same character, scenes, or whatever for the category. So by my own rules, I can't pick Garashi because he's not only racist, but he was a jobber. My vote has to go to El Drago because I literally can't pick Garashi. But at least I have a reason for picking him. Okay, so we're gonna go with best scene, and since you went first, I'm going first. Okay. Did you die?
Of course you went with that joke.
I still remember that scene to this day. I just forgot it was from this movie.
A non-canon movie has the best joke in the entire franchise. Holy shit.
No, it's not the best joke, but it's one that stuck with me for a while.
Oh wow.
I remember that I heard in like an American animated movie, there was like a kid who's like, Mister, did you die? My mind immediately went back to the scene.
Oh, Finding Nemo.
Oh, that's right. Finding Nemo came out after this did. And
did Pixar rip off One Piece?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, so
what was your best scene?
Obviously the IOU rock. That's scribbled future payment from the soon-to-be king of the pirates. A fucking rock and gives it to the guy after eating all his food.
Which, if this was canon and the series is still going, that payment is still outstanding.
Yeah, he didn't even write it on a paper. He wrote on a fucking rock.
Where did he get the rock?
I mean, there's plenty of rocks out there, John. I mean, there's one big rock.
No, they were on a boat restaurant that's smaller than my bedroom in the middle of the ocean. How did he find? Where did that rock come from?
Maybe this guy's a bunch of IOU rocks on him.
I guess he does.
He just finds it easier to carry than actual currency.
Okay, you got a point. So we rated the best scene. What's the worst one?
Obviously, Zoro taking down Zoro's fight against Garashi. What's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, that fight was so anticlimactic. Again, so like you said, it wasn't even long enough for his theme.
Yeah, a song that they made for the movie, and they had to cut it down.
Yeah, so, and they hyped up the strength of this swordsman, and that's a guy who could just slice an entire mountain in half, and he just goes down non-lethally by Zoro. So obviously, that fight scene's the worst scene in the entire movie.
Yeah.
So what's your worst scene?
Mine might actually surprise you. I think it might be the scene when they go in that little house before El Drago blows it down. I thought the perspective on it was like a little weird, where Zoro started to shrink. Meanwhile,
Fireplace is massive in comparison.
Yeah, I just thought that was really strange. Like I'm picking this one on for a technical reason.
Okay.
So it just looked really strange. Like the movie, for the most part, was really nice to watch, especially since it was traditionally animated and had that non-restorative filter over it. So it wasn't restored, so like it had that VHS quality to it. So that's part of why I liked it. But I ain't looking past that scene. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So then after this,
the
next category is review the villainy of the villain or villains. So how does El Drago or anyone in his crew hold up on the villainy scale for you?
Oh, well, he was kind of lame, if I'm being honest. Like, he was dumb as a rock, like you said, being easily tricked by Captain Usopp, of all people.
Yeah.
And
when he was loudly exclaiming, "Oh fuck, they're not falling for my lies."
Yeah. And so, how would I rate him? I'd rate him a... let's see. What would be my rating?
Well,
like one of those bank robbers who boasted on security camera out of a Sly Cooper.
I was going to say, what might help you decide is like, how does he shape up to Ganzak?
Ganzak had a fucking nuclear tower.
And a town enslaved.
Yes. He obviously, even the pilot villain was more intimidating than this guy.
Yeah. Well, should we also rate the rest of the pilot? Because like as we go on, there's gonna be like a crew of villains, and like that El Drago is the main one, but I think I know where the ranking of the first mate stands for you, Garashi.
Mm-hmm.
What? How would you rate the villainy of Garashi?
Garashi, I'd rate him I'd rate him a blackface Looney Tunes shirt out of a tribal chief from Peter Pan.
I just
that's the scale that I'm working with.
I'm just rating him a 0. Not only was he clearly a racial stereotype, he basically was nothing. Like, if you took him out of the movie, you would not need him.
Yeah, I don't think he even speak in the movie.
No, he didn't, which added to the whole racist aspect too. Because, like, it's like, oh, he doesn't speak English. No, not okay with me.
Japanese.
Well, because like most stereotypical Native American characters in movies like just didn't talk because they didn't.
Right.
They didn't speak the language of the white man. Which still applied here. As for the rest of them, who cares? I'm gonna rate them a who cares out of why even bother. All right, and then this is a new category that was not present in the last one because it didn't have to exist for the last one. Rate the opening and ending of the movie.
Let's see.
Or opening or ending, because some of these will have an ending but not an opening, and vice versa. But this one had both.
Yeah, it had the classic One Piece We Are opening,
and Memory,
which I heard bits and pieces of,
and Memories, the first ending of the show. So that's why it felt like an extended episode of the show, because it had an opening and ending from the actual show. So how do We Are and Memories shape up for you?
Yeah, We Are is a catchy song. I remember hearing bits and pieces of it back when you played it at high school. Oh, and let's see. I don't remember the closing all that much, but I immediately recognized all the images they used, which was just taken straight out of the manga from those colored title pages they did.
Meanwhile, they had the Photoshop Usopp and the ones he wasn't present in.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the crew when those were put on.
Yeah, well, and some of them were used during the Syrup Village covers, but he wasn't in the crew, so he wasn't he just was not there.
Yeah. Overall, I like the intro. Oh, the outro wasn't all that memorable aside from the visuals, though.
So how would you rate them?
Oh,
On the fruit scale.
On a fruit scale, 4 out of 5.
Wow, you didn't give We Are perfect. Because that is the One Piece theme song. All right, well,
the closing kind of tied it down for me.
Well, like you can rate them individually. You don't have to rate them together.
Okay, We Are 5 out of 5. Closing 3 out of 5. Serviceable, but not all that memorable.
Well, for me, I'm going to give them both the highest score possible because I have a fondness for both of those. That when I first binged One Piece and then the second and third times I binged them, those We Are is the One Piece theme song. You cannot go wrong. That's like saying, I watched tons of Dragon Ball, but I don't like Chala Head Chala very much. But like One Piece's theme song is We Are. And Hiroshi Kitadani can get me hyped with that 90s anime jazzy opening. Like jazz bands opening anime. That's my fucking shit. One Piece does it. Dragon Ball does it. JoJo does it, despite being a 2010s anime, but it's based on a manga that started in the 80s, so it works. But yeah, One Piece, the highest score possible. Because after all, we are on the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Memories also is it's like a very nice, calming. Like after all of the intensity that happens in the show, it's a show that like kind of brings you down, and makes you feel all nice and warm as the climactic shit kind of like calms you down after all the excitement. Mm-hmm. And it's nice and nostalgic. It reminds me of a simpler time when I was still binging it, and I heard it for. Oh my God! How long did they run that opening? It I think the entire East Blue saga uses We Are. Yeah, the first 52 episodes of the anime use We Are and Memories, and then I think after the East Blue saga, it switches to the next ones. Correction: the anime only uses Memories for the first half of the East Blue saga. For the first 30 episodes, Memories is the ending theme song. And then in 31 to the end of the East Blue saga, it switches to Run, Run, Run. Yeah, so they are very formative in my anime music listening days. So I can't front on either of them at all. So 5 out of 5 fruits for both of them.
Oh damn!
So that brings us to the final category: the fruit score for the movie entirely overall. Austen, you first.
Let's see. Well, it wasn't great. It was serviceable overall. There were some nice moments, but the villains, they were just dog shit in my opinion.
Wow! Worse than Gonzock's Pirates?
Yeah, it's worse than Gonzock's Pirates. So overall, 2.5 gum fruit out of 5.
I'm going to be a bit more generous and give it I might be more generous than you. While it wasn't spectacular, this was their first outing, and they wanted to get their footing for a One Piece film. And this is the smallest scale that a One Piece film is and ever is going to be. So yeah, I'm going to give it maybe a 3. I'm just going to give it a solid 3 out of 5 fruits.
Yeah,
it's not bad by any means. There are two moments several moments in the very beginning that cracked me up. But as the second half goes on, I'm like, can we get to the fight already? And it just feels like retreading aspects of the greater series overall. So it's just you're just kind of reaching, but I'll forgive it because it's the first film. And also as far as music goes, some of the iconic tracks in the anime originated from this movie, and as you'll see, if you ever get around to watching the anime when we're not recording these, you will start to hear a lot of these songs for the rest of your time watching, period. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5.
A little bit more generous than me.
No more, no higher, no lower. I'm not going to go any bigger than that. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for our review of One Piece, the movie. Thank you guys all so much for listening. And if you didn't get a chance to listen to our commentary track, you can subscribe to us on Patreon and get the commentary tracks for this, the Defeat the Pirate Gonzak OVA, and whatever future One Piece movie or TV special review we do in the near future. The next time we review a One Piece movie is going to be a long time from now, though, because the next movie doesn't take place until not only they grow by and crewmates by one, we also have to get through the entire saga first. Is it evident?
Shit!
The entire first saga. So, judging by my map here, episode 22 of Binging the Devil's Fruit is going to be the next movie review. And this is episode 10.
That's a long time.
Yeah, because I think these came out yearly for a while. So like you have the entire year's worth of One Piece content to get through first. But that being said, thank you guys all so much for listening. Feel free to subscribe. We do this bi-weekly here on Super Bonus Round, and check out what else we got going on. And we will see you guys next time for episode 11 of Binging the Devil's Fruit, where we will cover chapters 42 to 47. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. And don't forget, binging the Devil's Fruit is something that's best enjoyed slowly, pacing yourself, and taking your time consuming it. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for binging the Devil's Fruit with us today. If you'd like to enhance your binging experience even further, for just $3 a month, not only do you get access to episodes 1 week before they go live for the public, you also get exclusive access to our commentary tracks for our One Piece anime movie special reviews on our Patreon.